Good evening, my friends. We are live. This is Live Free or Die, and I'm your host, Eli King. Thank you for joining me for another wonderful episode of my freedom-loving show here. Damn you. Alrighty then. We have plenty of news to get to today. And of course, as you may imagine, imagine that this show is going to be about gun control and why I love guns. Maybe that'll be the title to my show. I love guns. Yes. And the reason why I put so much pressure every week on this gun issue, I keep being repetitive about it, is because the main scumbag media this is exactly what they are doing. Every single day there is some news article in regards to some sort of gun control and how they want to take away the people's guns. Well, I'm just plain sick of it, to be quite honest. And I think it's time we demand a plan, like the celebrities who came out with this demand a plan video garbage. These hypocrites and whores of Hollywood. You know who you are, you scumbags. We're going to play that video in a few minutes, and maybe in a minute or two. And then we're also going to play a demand a real plan video. And later on, you give me a call, 212-245-7273. Once again, the CG is blacked out, so that's why my numbers are black here. Second week in a row, this place seems to be falling apart. No offense to the Manhattan Neighborhood Network, but come on, guy. Come on. All right. Let's go to this Hollywood bunch of hypocrites and whores who wanted to plan. This is sort of a remix version of the demand a plan action by these whores and Hollywood scumbags. Basically, you should boycott all their movies and everything they do, because I'm pretty sure they all own guns, but they don't want us to own guns, or they have bodyguards, or they live in gated communities. These scumbags. Let's go to the tape.
Columbine.
Virginia Tech.
Tucson.
Aurora.
Fort Hood. Oak Creek. Newtown.
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 How many more? How many more? How many more colleges? How many more classrooms?
Okay, I can understand why people like that.
How many more movie theaters?
How many more houses of faith?
Yeah, that's gangster style.
How many more shopping malls?
Let's kill it. You talking to me, bitch?
Easy there, fella.
Okay.
How many more street corners?
How many more?
How many more?
Enough.
Enough.
Enough. Enough.
Demand a plan.
Right now. As a mom.
As a dad. As a friend. As a husband.
As a wife.
As an American.
As an American.
As an American.
As a human being.
For the children of Sandy Hook.
Demand a plan. No more lists of names. It's not too soon.
It's too late.
Now is the time.
What do I do? I just...
Before we all know someone who loved someone on that list.
No more lists.
No more.
Who they might have been. No more.
If we had just done something yesterday.
It's time.
We can do better than this.
We can do better than this.
It's time.
It's time.
It's time for our leaders to act.
Demand a plan. Right now.
I'm beginning to tire of you, Dr. Bronfman.
Right now.
You! Demand it!
Enough.
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 Well, there you have it right there, boys and girls. You got these Hollywood scumbags, hypocrites, and whores who demand that you disarm yourselves, and basically they're going out there blaming guns. Like I said last week, like if the guns just jumped up and started shooting people in the middle of the night like Fantasia. That is not what happened, you see. What we need to blame is the Hollywood. Well, if we're gonna blame guns, then we need to blame Hollywood movies like that. Let's just say these Hollywood movies caused Adam Lanza to go out and shoot people, or the drugs. Nobody ever wants to blame the drugs. Nobody ever wants to look at the facts. Let's look at the facts. The year they came out with these serotonin reuptake inhibitor psychotropic drugs, mass shootings began. Before these drugs were invented, there were no mass shootings, people. It's the drugs and the Hollywood violence, not the guns. More guns equal less crime, okay, people? It is statistically proven, okay, over and over again. Mass shootings are being stopped by legally carrying gun owners, and the mainstream media completely ignores it. Completely. Even recently here in New York City, an off-duty cop stopped an armed robbery. And now, had that been a citizen who was legally carrying? See, when citizens legally carry, it is like you have an extra police officer there. So, but, you know, we're all peasants, we're all slaves, and the New World Order wants us disarmed so they can throw us in FEMA camps and kill us. Now let's move on to this real plan. This is from Infowars.com, and they came together with a nice clip, and it's called Demand a Real Plan. And it basically breaks down the false flag attacks. And let's just go to the clip. It's a very good clip here. And let's do it.
Northwoods, Gulf of Tonkin,
Gladio,
Kent State,
Ruby Ridge,
Waco,
Oklahoma City.
The World Trade Center.
the Pentagon,
Shanksville,
Hurricane Katrina,
Fast and Furious.
Fast and Furious.
Fast and Furious.
How many more?
How many more?
How many more false flags?
How many more?
How many more government buildings?
How many more innocent people?
How many more?
How many more?
What has been the #1 cause of unnatural death in history?
Democide, or death by government, has killed 290 million people on record.
290 million people killed.
Killed.
290 million.
Killed by government.
The government.
The #1 killer in history is democide.
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 Death by government.
Look it up.
Go look it up. In the 20th century, government murdered 4 times as many people as were killed in all the international and domestic wars combined.
USSR. 61,911,000 people killed.
Hitler's Germany, nearly 21 million people killed.
Japan's imperialism. Nearly 6 million people killed.
Western colonization killed over 50 million people.
Pol Pot's Cambodia, funded by the U.S. government. 2 million people killed.
China's Communist Party, as many as 76 million people killed between 1949 and 1987.
And the list goes on and on.
So now you know the most dangerous thing to you and your family in the world is government.
Because mass murderers agree.
Gun control works.
Disarming citizens is democide.
Disarming citizens is democide.
Disarming people is democide.
How many people have died because of Fast and Furious?
No more false flags.
Enough.
Enough.
It's enough.
Now is the time.
It's time.
It's time to realize that when the government takes your guns, people die.
It's time to realize the biggest threat to you and your family is government.
It's time to recognize government is the greatest killer of all time.
It's time.
Demand a plan.
Demand.
Demand a plan.
Demand a plan right now.
As a free human being.
As an American.
As an American.
As an American citizen.
As a patriot.
For your children.
Demand to know why you and your children are forced into gun-free zones while government officials, celebrities, and their children are protected by armed guards.
Demand they show you the word hunting in the Second Amendment.
Demand to know why the government shipped thousands of guns to Mexican drug cartels.
Demand our government stops blowing up federal buildings.
Demand that our troops stop protecting opium fields in Afghanistan and come home.
Demand the government stop this phony drug war.
Demand to know why the Department of Homeland Security bought more than 1.6 billion hollow point bullets with our money.
Demand our government stop poisoning our food supply with genetically modified organisms.
Demand that President Obama stops killing innocent women and children all around the world with his illegal drone attacks.
Demand an end to these unconstitutional wars.
Demand that the TSA stop groping our genitals at the airport.
Demand that the NSA stop illegally spying on all of us all the time.
Demand that toxic fluoride be removed from the water supply.
Demand our politicians uphold the Constitution and Bill of Rights as they swore to when they took office.
It's time.
It's time for our leaders to act like leaders.
It's time for our leaders to read the Constitution.
It's time for our leaders to obey the Constitution.
The Constitution.
The Constitution.
Because a well-regulated militia with 10-round magazines wouldn't last very long.
Demand an end to citizen disarmament.
Government-sponsored terror.
And democide.
Democide. Death by government.
Right now.
Right now.
Right now.
We are sick and tired of our tyrannical government taking away our rights.
Stop stealing our rights.
Our rights.
Our rights.
How many more people does government have to kill?
Enough.
Enough.
Enough already.
Enough.
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 Enough of the people laying down and letting government kill them en masse after disarming them as they've done throughout history over and over again. Enough. Enough to laying down and letting these criminals use us up like slaves.
There you go right there. You can go to Infowars.com to catch that. Great point they brought up right there with Operation Fast and Furious. You know, our president, if you want to call him that, I don't even know how he's eligible to be president, being that his father was not even born a U.S. citizen. He was born in Kenya, which makes him a British citizen, which makes him uneligible to be president according to the Constitution. Both of your parents have to be born in the United States. So, therefore, he should be impeached. But, gee, I lost my train of thought. Fast and Furious. This scumbag, Obama, makes these crocodile tears. You know, he's facing down, and the tears are supposed to be dripping from his nose, but they're dripping from the side of his eye. Yeah, okay. And all the fake photo ops, like the Situation Room when Osama was murdered. Right, yeah. He was dead before 2001. Anyway, I'm deflecting here. Fast and Furious, okay? Why don't you cry for the thousands of Mexican kids that were killed by the guns your Attorney General had shipped out by Eric Holder, okay? Number is 212-245-7273. Why don't you demand a plan for that? Okay? Why don't you shed some tears for all the bombings, all the nearly 20,000 children you have killed in Libya and Syria? Why don't you go to YouTube and just type in Syria massacre, where you can see these kids' heads blown off. Little tiny kids, little babies. Babies.
Hey, man, you're...
All right, man. Babies. Real callers, give me a call, please. All right. This next story here is by Aaron Dykes. Pennsylvania police chief proposes Second Amendment preservation ordinance. You got the police chief of Pennsylvania basically saying the citizens have a right to a Second Amendment. And hopefully we got other people out there who feel the same way. We need to repeal the gun laws in this city because there are tons of deaths that are going on every day. Friends of mine, I got a friend named Taz who was killed a couple of years ago. And had he had the right to legally arm himself as he was breaking up a fight, when he saw that perpetrator pull out a gun, he could have defended himself. Yesterday on my street, the street that I live on, a teenager was gunned down. Had he had the right to legally arm himself, his life could have been saved. Instead of, Hollywood promoting all this violence and then blaming guns. Why don't we blame the drugs, okay? This is what did it. And the gangster rap culture that's being pushed on us. All right, let's take this call. Caller, you're on the air. What's on your mind? Caller, you're on the air. What's on your mind?
Traffic.
Okay, then. All right. If you hear somebody hang up, just give me a call. Oh, we got another call. Caller.
Hey, good show tonight, man. How we doing?
All right, brother. What's on your mind?
Oh, man, it's really getting bad out here. I'll tell you what. I got my big black cock stuck in a shampoo bottle right now.
All right. Well, that's good. I hope you have that ready for you when the United Nations soldiers come and take you away. Hopefully they'll let you take your shampoo bottle with you. Well, anyway, on to the next article. Hey, Americans, this is from Mike Adams from naturalnews.com. Hey, Americans, if you fly, you already put your life in the hands of gun-toting pilots. That's right, 10,000 gun-possessing airline pilots in America. They're allowed to have guns, basically. Are you going to be afraid to fly because all the pilots have guns? Is this the case? We just keep getting these crank callers. I will put your number out on air, Kai. Don't do it. So, yes, our pilots are armed. Should we disarm the pilots? And I know there are a lot of police officers out there. What if one day they came to you and said, and just imagine if you were a police officer, and they came to you and they said, it's time for you to turn in your guns. We're going to go out like they do in England, like the Bobbies, and walk around unarmed. Do you think about 35,000 police officers will turn in their guns? I don't think so. Caller, you're on.
Hey, how's it going, man? This is Mike. I just want to say that maybe we should start arming the TSA. Because I think they're worthy people that should get guns and stuff, you know?
Okay, then. I think you're a moron, sir, and I'll tell you why. Let's go to this next article. Speaking of TSA, I don't like to call my callers morons. I'm sorry, but yeah, you're a moron. Anyway, speaking of the TSA, they're at the Vikings game. Here they go. This is from another article from Infowars.com. First of all, they have a drone in the sky here. Now they're using drones. TSA is at the football games, and they got the TSA Viper teams right here with the slacks. You see the police officer in the middle here. He is a police officer. And then they got the TSA with the gun strapped to their legs here. These are the Viper teams. For all you police officers out there, especially NYPD, because I have seen TSA in our subway. Go to the union and demand that the TSA does not work side by side with you, because it's bad enough I gotta deal with the NYPD violating my Fourth Amendment right. You think I need some TSA bastard who didn't even take an oath to the Constitution? And then this is their plan, NYPD and all the police around the nation. They want to nationalize the police force. They want to do away with the local police force. So when they have the TSA working side by side with you, you say no. You go to the union rep and you demand they get the hell out of here, okay? And you got to stick together on this. Stick together on this. Don't let them nationalize the police force like Hitler did. This is what Nazi Germany did. This Homeland Security and TSA will be a nationalized police force that they are bringing in. Caller, you are on the air.
Hi. I am calling from the Lower East Side, and there was a kid who was shot dead last night on Columbia Street.
Yes.
By another young kid who had a gun. And I think that if his name is Sadante, and I think that if he had a gun to defend himself, the story would have turned out a lot different. And I just want to say rest in peace, Sadante.
All right. Well,
thank you.
Not a problem. Thank you for the call. I appreciate it. That's the same incident I was talking about earlier. You know, some people would say that the answer is not to arm everybody, but I think that is the answer. It is our God-given Second Amendment right, and as a matter of fact, I just put in my application for a Virginia non-resident concealed handgun permit, and even though I think we shouldn't have to register like sex offenders, but I'm registering just to show a point, and you should all go out there too. You can get this application online and take an online course and then just mail it in, and you will get your concealed handgun carry permit that is valid for 26 states in this country, Pennsylvania being one of them. And if you don't want to register, then I suggest you move to a state like Vermont or Texas where you don't have to register. You just need to be a state resident. And in these states and counties, crime is down. There are no mass shootings over there. And when they try to stage a mass shooting over there, it so happens they run into an off-duty cop or a citizen who has a concealed carry permit, and they get stopped. For instance, Bernie Goetz. Does anybody remember Bernie Goetz? I believe it was in the 80s. I actually know Bernie Goetz. Good guy. Comes by my job all the time. Very loving, friendly guy. Feeds the squirrels. I'm going to see if I can have him on the show. But this guy was robbed on the subway. Well, they tried to rob him, and he had an illegal gun. Because who would go on the subway, at nighttime without a gun, to be honest? But anyway, he had an illegal gun. These three scumbag perps came to rob him, and what did he do? You know it, he put them down. And thankfully, they only gave him a year in jail for the weapons charge. But Bloomberg has upped that term to about 3 years. I mean, these gun laws in this country are so tyrannical, I cannot believe it. Look at Plexico Burress. The guy shoots himself in the leg, and he gets 2 years in jail. Meanwhile, the Dallas Cowboy guy who killed his friend gets 30 days. Come on. Anyway, caller, you're on the air.
Oh, sorry.
It's okay. You're on the air. Okay, I don't know who you thought you were calling. But yes. Let's see. Do we have any other articles here before I go? Oh, the New York Times. The New York Times, Vanity, and this Vanity magazine, all these reporters are calling for the end of the Constitution. They want to do away with the Constitution. You cannot do away with the Constitution. I said this last week, the Bill of Rights is not negotiable. You want to get rid of the Constitution? You have to get rid of the 13th Amendment, which is slavery. You have to get rid of the First Amendment, which is freedom of speech. 13th Amendment, which is they freed the slaves. And you know the first gun laws were enacted after the slaves were freed because the KKK did not want the freed slaves to be armed. Those were the first gun laws to stop black people from getting guns. And now you got black reporters, black sports writers out there criticizing, saying you're racist if you want to own a gun. I'm a person of color. I want to own a gun. I'm not racist, okay? Let's take this call. Caller, you're on the air real quick.
Yeah, how you doing, boss? I just wanted to call you, let you know I agree with you about the TSA becoming a United States police force. You know, I know that's coming very shortly.
Yeah, they'll be hitting the highways soon.
And make a quick comment here, too, once before I had called about the 9/11 conspiracy things. A lot more articles and a lot of things online coming up now with how all these people that were witnesses to the planes with no windows are all of a sudden showing up dead. People are dying, and they're supposedly very mysterious deaths, kind of like what happened to all the eyewitnesses for the Kennedy shooting.
Yes, you can go to YouTube and type in 9/11 mysterious deaths. This is very, very true. What else did I... Oh, man. Anything else on your mind before I let you go?
No, that's it. I love your show. Thanks very much, bro. You keep on going.
Thank you, sir. I appreciate the call. What was it? Oh, the day of 9/11. They got this guy there, and he's doing a... They ask him, hey, what happened? Did you see what happened? And he says, oh, the buildings semantically fell or whatever. This guy was an actor. He was a paid actor. How the hell did he know a half an hour after the buildings fell, how they fell, in what structure? Get out of here. That whole thing was staged. I think Sandy Hook was staged. Aurora, Colorado thing was staged. And it's crazy, I tell you. It's crazy. And hey, listen. We must fight for our rights, okay? It is our Second Amendment, our right to bear arms, to guarantee a free state, a free people. This goes back before the Constitution, Magna Carta. Why do you think the revolution started, people? Because they came to take the guns. Don't let them take the guns. Demand your governor repeal the gun laws in this damn tyrannical state. Tell Bloomberg to go shove it you know where. All right, people, I wish I had more time, but I'm out of time. God bless America. God save the Constitution. And if you have received this transmission, then you are the resistance. Save the Constitution, people. I love you. Thanks for watching.